Oh, wait, I'm not ready. Hey, we're live. That's right. And my name is Josh, and don't be shaking your head in the background, Justin. We are going to be talking about players. Today, we're going to be making each other talk about players that we don't like to talk about. What that means is I'm going to give Justin a couple players that he may not want to talk about, but he's going to have to tell me something nice about them. And Justin's going to do the same to me. And we'll also maybe talk about Rashi Rice and that whole situation. But let's get the show started, Justin.
You're watching Fantasy Now Plus.
It's funny because Justin pops in a little bit late today, which usually I'm the late one. And he's like, "Are you ready to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm not ready to go." And then he just puts me on air. So my fault, my bad. I'm never always stay ready, like Matt Cardona says. You don't know who that is, but he's always ready. Man, we got a couple tidbits of news. I don't know how much you want to add up or bring to the table. And we also have these players. It's going to be difficult for me today, guys, pulling teeth to talk about these players. I already know who I'm going to talk about today, and I am not looking forward to it. Like I'm very, very not. I was nice to Justin. I gave him two real good players that maybe you might not feel good about, and he gave me two bad players that I have to somehow.
No.
I
gave you two pretty good players.
Sure. Speaking about really good players or pretty good players, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. This should be quick. He's announced, or someone announced, or there's been an announcement.
Nobody's ever talked about this. It's so crazy. But yeah,
that Aaron Rodgers is going to wrap it up this season. This is his last season, apparently. This is his swan song. This is his retirement tour. So if Aaron Rodgers happens to come to your town, make sure you snag those tickets because it's an end of an era as one of the best to ever do it. Aaron Rodgers.
I think you had that right the first time, and it's the end of an era. He is returning back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody has ever talked about that before. So
I'm not going to talk about my rightness
right
of that.
here. Aaron Rodgers is returning to Pittsburgh for his final season. What is interesting, though, he won't get to join some of the elite quarterbacks that have beaten all 32 NFL teams because he does not play Green Bay this year. Unless they play in the Super Bowl this year, doubtful, but yeah.
Hey, you know what, though? A lot of people want to talk trash about Aaron Rodgers, and that's totally fine. I get it, but let's not pretend like he's not one of the greatest of all time. Honestly, in our era, he definitely is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And to this day in 2026, he's still putting up very good NFL quarterback numbers that some of you just don't want to recognize. But I cannot wait. If he comes, I haven't looked at schedules. I know the NFL schedule came out last week, guys. It's May. I don't care. I'll look at the schedule in August. Sorry. The little things you guys get excited for, I would love to, but I'm jealous of you. So I don't know where he's going to be playing this year or if he's going to be playing Miami. I don't know. I don't know anything. But I do know if he's somewhere close in my vicinity, I'm going to go see him. 100%. One of the greatest of all time.
Let's just look real quick. He's got, let's see, he's playing against the Buccaneers on October 18th.
In Tampa?
It's in Tampa.
I'll be there.
October 18th.
100%. I'm not missing that game. I will be there. So cool. Thanks for that information, Mr. Justin Bowerly. The next thing on this list is not so good. One of my all-time favorite dynasty assets that I've been screaming about for the past 3 years. Rashi Rice has been dinged for violation of his probation for smoking marijuana or testing positive. One way or the other, he tested positive. Now he must go to jail for 30 days. I'm laughing because I know how the jail system works for athletes. He's not in real jail. He's in athlete jail. It's unfortunate, but they get treated special. And he will be back, but he's going to be missing OTAs and all that fun stuff. And I give up. I'm done. I'm done defending Rashi Rice. I had him in my top 10 as a dynasty wide receiver for like the past 3 years, and I think I'm the highest person on him throughout the entire industry. And I'm over it. I'm done. He's Josh Gordon. He's done. He's never going to learn his lesson. He's an idiot. Sorry, Rashi, love you, but I'm over it, and I roster him in 1,000 leagues, and I don't know what to do with him, Justin. I don't know what to do with him, but a lot of people are over him. How say you?
I thought he was done a couple last year, and then he had that gruesome knee injury, and then I was like, yeah, he's been done. Yeah, Josh Gordon, Justin Blackman, like we can talk about great athletes that were supposed to be really good at their position, and then just got into trouble and never did anything after that. So I think Rashi is a dead dynasty asset.
I'm glad you think that because I'm still buying him. I'm still buying him. I'm not going to
For
not
sure.
buy him.
I do have a
Of course,
question
yeah.
for you, Josh, and this is
Right.
not Rashi or Ice related, but you're on the clock. Who are you taking at Wayne left?
Oh yeah, I waited. I waited for you. Honestly, I waited for this moment
I
because
have the next two picks after you, so
so I'm just going to pick Stowers now and get it over with.
you son of a.
Well, to be completely honest with you, when Zeb was on the clock, this is inside information, inside dynasty leagues that none of you guys know. Zeb is super inactive sometimes, so I thought he wasn't going to pick till like next week. And then I see that I'm on the clock, and I go, holy crap, he picked. Holy crap, Simpson got picked. Holy crap, Sakid got. All my picks got picked. So
Yeah.
I'm forced to take Mr. Stowers, unfortunately, but I need him. I need a tight end. So you're on the
Did
clock.
you do that?
You heard it.
Did you do that because of what I had said?
No,
last
no,
night? Okay.
I've been taking Stowers everywhere.
So it's funny because after I had for everybody listening,
Nobody
last
cares.
night I text our group chat. Nobody cares about this. I know. I do. I text our group chat saying, wow, if I get Stowers, Bowers, and Bowers would be a funny name because I have Bowers also. And then I immediately text Brian saying, me trying to get Josh to pick Stowers because I actually don't want him to pick the player I do want. So
No, I
I'll go
wanted
ahead and
Stowers.
take Omar Cooper right there. And then you can hear all of that, can't you? I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if I'm
can
going to
hear
take
that.
this next pick because the next pick I got taken. I wanted
All
Tyson.
right,
So,
there's no listen, guys, and this is off topic. If you're in a dynasty league and they have a clock on your rookie draft, leave the league. It should be 0 o'clock. We're freaking in May, brother.
okay.
Chill
Yeah,
out.
exactly. I don't.
Chill out, brother.
Does not matter.
Anyway, let's get to the big topic at hand.
Yes.
Last word on Rice, though. I'm not being dramatic like Justin and saying he's dead. I'm just so annoyed with him. But I'm still buying him because right now he's the cheapest he'll ever be. And I think he's going to be. Listen, the NFL doesn't care about. I know none of you want to hear this, but I was drafting Deshaun Watson for the last 2 years too. No, nobody cares. The NFL doesn't care about your legal situations. They don't care how good of a human you are. They care how much money you generate. And if you're the number one receiver with Patrick Mahomes, I'm still going to buy you no matter what happens. We've seen many times where players will play even though they're scumbags. See Tyreek Hill, see Stephon Diggs, see Adrian Peterson, see everyone. So get off your high horse, people. If you want to win dynasty leagues, you could buy Rashi Rice cheap right now. That's what I'm going to do today. Although I roster him in like 80% of leagues anyway, but I'm still going to go get him in those 20% of leagues I don't have him. That being said, let's shift over to positivity, and we're going to talk about players that we want you to understand that there's going to be some upside with these players, even though the public may be down on them, or they had a down year last year, or they had a seesaw year last year where some weeks are up, some weeks are down. So I'm going to start with you, Justin. First off, please tell me something good about Rome Odunze, projected to be the wide receiver 1 in Chicago. They just shipped off DJ Moore. They have Luther Burden there in his sophomore year. They also have the tight end in his sophomore year. His name is, oh my gosh, skipping me at the moment. But Rome Odunze, Loveland, Colston Loveland. But Odunze seems to be the number 1, and he was like the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season last year, and then he fell off a cliff. Tell me something good about Rome Odunze.
Yeah, obviously you're going to look at the stats that he had at the beginning of the season last year. He finished as wide receiver 23, 3, 15, and 14 to start the season. He also finished 12 and 11 at different times of the season, but he got injured after week 13 and then didn't play the rest of the season pretty much. So he posting up no stats. He had a little bit of a rocky road after the bye week last year. And The whole offense kind of changed. We're still getting used to the offense. I feel a lot more comfortable about Roma Dunze going into this year because we have seen the talent from him. He does get the target loads. I mean, if you're looking at this, he doesn't really he at least gets 5 or 6 targets a game, which isn't great, but he wasn't wide receiver 1 last year technically. He was a wide receiver 2 in his second season. Again, you mentioned DJ Moore is going away. Really, his true fight against him is Colston Loveland, who they are kind of building that offense around right now. But outside of Loveland, it's Roma Dunze. I don't quite trust Luther Burden quite yet. DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson and Kyle Monungai aren't really super involved in the pass game, like as much as you would see like Saquon Barkley or Jameer Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. They are, but they're mostly in that run game or short yardage. So Roma Dunze is going to be your big player. I'm going to guess he's gonna come back pretty well this year. 5 touchdowns in the first 4 weeks. That's what we are looking for. That's what we are hoping to see ahead in this year. He's never finished under wide receiver 50, which isn't great, but it's at least a flex.
What?
You got a starter.
Never,
41 last year, so 41 wide receiver 41 last year. That's a flex.
Was he wide receiver 41 last year?
Yeah, and he missed 5 games. He missed 5 games last year.
Handy. I have him down as the wide receiver 41 last year. Yeah, 12.2 points per game. Here's the funny thing about Roma Dunze and the whole Bears offense. I was looking at a player that I have to tell you something good about, and I don't like a couple stats of his. But man, Odunze only had 90 targets, but he led the Chicago Bears in targets with 90. Nobody demanded more than 90 targets on that offense. That's crazy. Loveland sitting at 82, DJ Moore sitting at 85. Like nobody demanded. They spread the ball around there.
Yeah. Roma Dunze was wide receiver 26 in points per game last year. So we want to think about points per game. I mean, that is still very serviceable. I mean, that's low end, tight end, or wide receiver 2. So, and that wasn't, that wasn't even their best option last year. So
I love it. Big things for Roma Dunze this year, I hope. 12 games played last year, 661 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. You mentioned 5 in the first, I think, 6 weeks. He only got 1 after that. But again, I think that I don't know his current ADP. We should probably look that up. But right now, I'm sure it's lower than it should be. And once people start drafting, it's going to rise up the leaderboard. While you look up his ADP,
he is wide receiver 28. His ECR
is too low to me.
29.
That's too low to me.
I do agree. I think that is way too low for Dunze this year. I think it'll raise to probably 19 or 20.
Yeah, that's more in the range I'd feel more comfortable with. But hey, if you're drafting early, if you're a sicko, if you're a psychopath, you're drafting.
Get him at 28. Get him at 28. I mean,
right. Take advantage of this right now. All right, Justin, my turn. Which bomb are you going to give me?
In a very similar, like literally the exact same situation. The wide receiver 1 gets shipped out. They have a new young tight end that actually is going back and forth between, is it Loveland or is it this guy from last year's draft? The offense is kind of figuring it out still. There is no real threat to the wide receiver 1 position. Alec Pierce. Tell me something about Alec Pierce.
There's no surprise here that I'm down on Alec Pierce. I'm not a big fan of Alec Pierce. I don't think that his efficiency can hold up, but I have to give you good things about Alec Pierce. Last year, finished wide receiver 39, average 11 fantasy points per game. He made some big plays. He definitely made some big plays. He had to have. He had 84 total targets, caught 47 of them for 1,003 yards. How many touchdowns was that? 6 touchdowns. You know, we had this conversation in our chat yesterday at our sleeper league where Dave has him. And I'm like, dude, you better sell him. And he was talking him up because he understands that we need to sell Alec Pierce. So he talked him up till someone stupidly traded for him. Good on you, Dave. But a 21.3 average reception is kind of unrealistic to hold up. God, I'm supposed to be saying good things about Alec Pierce. let me shift my attitude here. Um, he finally has, we think, a stable quarterback if Danny Dimes can go back healthy. He has that rapport with Daniel Jones. We saw them connect deeply, and those deep threats are there. Those deep threats are definitely there. We're missing Michael Pittman from this team. That's a lot of targets just gone. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they've really replaced Michael Pittman in this offense. I think that they just said, screw it.
You
We
would be
don't.
correct. Michael
Yeah,
Pittman had 111 targets last year, leading the team. Josh Downs had 88. Alec Pierce had 84. They did not
Tyler
replace
Warren had
Pittman
112.
Jr. Tyler Warren, okay, 112. I'm only looking at wide receivers. But not replacing 111 targets makes you believe that Alec Pierce, who you just paid the most money for a wide receiver in free agency, that's not an extension. You would have to believe that he's getting at least a third of those 111 targets.
That is 100% true. I do think his target share has to go up. It has to. But have we seen Alec Pierce as a route running technician? Can he do the crossers? Can he do the digs? Can he do the curl routes? Or is he just a street kind of player? These are the things that are going to matter because he is a very high percentage. I wouldn't say high percentage. He can go deep. He can track that deep ball and he can make big plays. But we're going to see if he's going to be able to do everything else because right now he has just been a one-trick pony. And it tells me with that contract they gave him, ridiculous or not, they believe that he's going to be the wide receiver one there moving forward. My only concern here is, again, can he go across the middle? Is he someone that can get open? Is he Puka Nakua? Is he Jarvis Landry? Is he someone that can catch the intermittent route or intermittent balls and also catch the deep balls? That's what we're going to have to look for. And we know last year the Indianapolis Colts ran a lot of first read plays, right? Tyler Warren was the first read. They throw it to Tyler Warren. Alec Pierce was the first read. They throw it to Alec Pierce. Since they paid him, you would assume they're going to make him more of a first read kind of guy. Make sure he's their guy. He's their target. He's their weapon there. So I do think that he's going to disappoint a lot of people here, but maybe not my extent. Maybe not to a wide receiver 3, which he was last year. Maybe he does get moved into that wide receiver 2 role, kind of like a Deshaun Jackson, right? He's going to put up big weeks, but be prepared to take some zeros or be prepared to take some 5s at least. I do like Alec. Go ahead.
I think the role is going to change for him overall. I mean, he is the deep ball guy. He has been because you have Pittman that can take the slants. I think Alec Pierce is going to get more involved in that short game. And if you're giving a 50-50 ball to one of the best, or if you're giving an easy pass to one of the best 50-50 ball receivers in the league, that should increase those receptions, those points, the yardage, everything. I think this is going to be his boom year. And sorry,
and I do
saying nice things about him, not me.
No, I'm going to say some nice things. And then on top of that, we're really going to need Jonathan Taylor to stay healthy throughout this offense because Pierce did rely on play action throws, play action plays. He was top 15 amongst wide receivers that had play action targets last year. 100% is needed for him to be successful in this role. So if Jonathan Taylor stays healthy, that whole offense is going to hum. That goes for Tyler Warren, definitely for Alec Pierce. And again, I am hard on Alec Pierce because I don't trust him at all. But everything's lining up for him to have a successful year unless they decide to go out and get a receiver last second, which I don't think that's going to happen. Don't think that's going to happen.
The one receiver that the Colts did pick up this year was Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Sure. So the other super efficient touchdown guy from a couple of years ago.
Deep ball guy. So listen, if this is the offense and it's just Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, and Nick Westbrook-Akine going deep every play, Daniel Jones 5,000 passing yards this year. I'm just gonna call it now.
Listen. I will say this: Justin deemed me with it was very difficult to talk good about this player in particular. I need to see more. I know you need to see more. I can't be the only one thinking this. I know that he got paid $1 bajillion, but he got paid $1 bajillion off of 47 catches and barely 1,000 yards. Like, I think the Colts kind of overspent on him. It is what it is. but that also tells me that they believe in his talent. So we should too.
They did overspend. They could have spent half that the year before if they would have extended him when they could have extended him. But yeah, I mean, they did go to his college to actually see him on his pro day at Cincinnati. I think the general manager does believe in Alec Pierce. So they believe in him enough to ship Michael Pittman away for a 6th-round pick. So,
I mean, at this point, Mr. Limited Upside, Michael Pittman's probably worth that at this point.
more confidence in Christian Watson or Alec Pierce?
Christian Watson. It's not even close to
Alec
me.
Pierce for me.
Tell me something good about Buccaneers running back, Bucky Irvin. They just added Kenneth Gainwell. They let Rachaad White walk away. And Sean Tucker is still there lingering around. Todd Bowles will tell you that they believe in him, but they don't give him a chance. So Bucky Irvin is now in essentially a two-headed backfield because they didn't sign Gainwell just to let him sit behind Bucky. I believe Gainwell is going to take a big portion of this workload. Tell me something good about Bucky Irvin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
4 weeks to start the year with top 15 performances. And then he was out for 7 weeks because he was hurt. He came back, immediately had a top 15 and a top 13 performance, or a 15 and 13 performance. And then followed by 4 very mediocre performances, which resulted in 3 of the last 4 losses of the season. So I think Bucky will get back into the offense, assuming he is healthy this offseason, doesn't see any complications with anything. Considering he did play the final 6 weeks of the season, I would think that means he should be good to go. Yeah, they replaced Rachaad White with Kenny Gainwell, and yeah, I like me some Kenny Gainwell last year. He did carry some of my teams far into the playoffs with a RB16 season. I don't think that's necessarily their answer. 27-year-old Kenny Gainwell or 23-year-old Bucky Irving. I think they're going to really still heavily rely on Bucky Irving. Kenny's going to be good in the passing game. Don't get me wrong. That's kind of what he was really known for in Pittsburgh, especially late in the season. Aaron Rodgers dumping a lot of those balls off to Kenny Gainwell. Baker Mayfield still has an arm. He can still throw that deep ball further. I would expect that to not be as much of a thing this year. I think Bucky will be the RB1 in Tampa, and it shouldn't be a problem. Sean Tucker's.
I know. The dream's over. I know.
Who cares?
To back you up and to somewhat counterpoint you, but tell you something good. Bucky caught 30 balls last year. Rachaad White caught 40 balls last year. They do check the ball down a lot. Losing Mike Evans, whether you guys want to believe it or not, is a huge uptick to the running back passing game in Tampa. They're still going to utilize the running backs in a passing game because all they have now are unless Emeka Mbuka really steps up and becomes that receiver that Mike Evans was, which he's not supposed to be. He was supposed to be taking over Chris Godwin. Now you have Godwin and Mbuka who pretty much play the same position. You have Cade Otton who hasn't improved or done anything ever good in his life. You're still going to need to dump it down to Bucky Irvin, and he's still going to be the first and second down back, which I believe Kenneth Gainwell is going to take that third down back, which that was Rachaad White anyway. Bucky Irvin didn't play third downs often. It was Rachaad White whenever they were both healthy. So I do think that you're on something here. What is Bucky Irvin's ADP currently?
Bucky's is, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I did not look it up. It is 80. Oh no, where'd it go? News, notes, stats, projections. ADP. Oh, there it is. ADP. ADP is sitting at 43 overall, 19 RB 19.
That's stupid. I'm just gonna say it. That's dumb.
That is dumb.
That's dumb. That is so dumb. You guys are dumb. I'm kidding. I'm joking. All you sickos out there drafting right now. You probably drafted RJ Harvey or someone like that. I don't know who you're drafting. Who's above him? I'm curious now.
See, I'm looking at the player directly, not the. You're gonna have to give me a couple more.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Tell me to talk about this real quick.
No, I don't want to move on to the next person without finishing up this person. I'm already there. I'm there. Bucky is okay. RB19. Above him is Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne Jr., Kyron Williams, Brees Hall, Josh Jacobs, Jeremiah Love, who's never had a snap in the NFL yet, Derrick Henry, Marion Hampton,
Nope.
Kenneth Walker.
No.
That's all the way to 10. Chase Brown,
No.
Saquon Barkley.
Taking Bucky over. Okay.
Where
okay.
where are we
15
at?
because you named 3 guys I wouldn't take him over, honestly, or I would take him over.
So
Hampton, I would take him.
Would you rather draft Chase Brown or Bucky Irving?
Bucky.
So that's at 9. Chase Brown's 9.
Yeah, but there's other guys on that list that you said before that I would
Kenneth
draft.
Walker?
Bucky.
Marion Hampton,
Bucky.
Derrick Henry.
The rest I'd stay. I would take Henry. I would take
Henry's 12. Love is 13. Josh Jacobs is 14. So you're saying Chase Walker and Hampton are way too high then?
Yeah, 100%. Way too high. That's crazy high. That's insane high. But if you guys want to be high, that's fine. Because you are with these ADPs. I love fantasy football talk in May. Like, these ADPs never last. It's always the sickos draft and think they're smarter than everybody else. And then the casuals come in and disrupt everything. It's the best. It's my favorite thing about fantasy football. Seeing the shift from May to August is my favorite. Who am I talking about?
Let's talk about bounce back candidate, tight end.
Stop it.
Superstar Mark Andrews.
First off, I don't understand why you gave me this player to talk about, because the dream has to be dead.
Top tight end. He's a top tight end.
Oh, is he?
He's tight end 6 2 years ago.
You know what happened 2 years ago? A lot of things happened 2 years ago. Brian Thomas Jr. was relevant. We were talking about him being like a dynasty top 5 guy. Like, what are we doing? But Mark Andrews, he's played all 17 games in the past 2 years, so you can't blame health for this situation. Last year was by far one of his worst seasons of his career, only averaging 8.8 yards per catch. That's his first year ever under double-digit yards per reception. He had 5 touchdowns, which is a career low ever since 2022. He's had 6 or more in every single season except for 3 of them. But we got to say something good about Mark Andrews. Unfortunately, today, there's just Zay Flowers and there's just Mark Andrews. I know you want to talk about your Brazel guy or these rookies that they bring in that will never produce anything, because that's what the Baltimore Ravens do. But let's just talk about Mark Andrews at this point. And take this with a grain of salt, because the tight ends position, it's number 1, Trey McBride, number 2, Brock Bowers, and then everybody else. Let's be honest here. Warren hasn't broken through to the top tiers, in my opinion. Loveland has not yet either. Laporta did not. So we're stuck with the top 2 guys and then literally everybody else. So let's keep that in mind when we talk tight ends. But if you talk tight ends, even in his down year last year, he's top 5 in yards ran per route. They still use him as a weapon each and every play. He's top 3 in first read target share. Top 3 at his position, though. At his position. Top 5 in red zone targets at the tight end position. Top 3 in targets per route versus zone coverage. These are all just, I cherry picked really good stats to let you guys know that the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, they still want to utilize Mark Andrews, because that's the only thing constant in Baltimore, really. Think about it. Harbaugh's gone. Henry's been constant there, but he's a new guy, according to, if you look at the perspective of Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. There's no really continuity on that offense besides Lamar and Mark Andrews. So they're going to have that red zone intuition where, okay, where's Mark Andrews? He's right there. Boom, he's a touchdown guy. He finished last year very poorly, tight end 16. He averaged 8 points per game. They didn't lose anybody. They kept Zay Flowers, who finished wide receiver 12. DeAndre Hopkins was a non-factor. I'm sure he's not there. They added these rookies who are no-namers. They kept, I don't know if Rashad Bateman's still there, but again, no-namer. So the really only positive thing I can say about Lamar Jackson is he's very cheap to obtain. I guarantee you his ADP. I don't know this. Justin could look it up on the back end, but I guarantee you he's below guys like Chig Okonkwo, who just went to Washington. He's probably below guys such as Travis Kelce or even Dallas Goedert. These are all guys that have other options on their offense. If you look at Mark Andrews specifically, he's their number 2 option. He still is. He's a tight end who can get open. He's not fast as he used to be. He doesn't get separation like he used to do, but he's still reliable in the red zone. He scores those touchdowns. And that's what we're going to need to see with this offense. Again, they lost Harbaugh. Is it going to be a new philosophy? Are we going to see more tight end usage? Are they going to say, man, Lamar and Mark Andrews are like peas and carrots. They're like Forrest Gump and Jenny. They're going to work out together. So yes, he's going to be that reliable tight end that you can just plug and play. He's not going to blow you up every week, but he's also not going to kill you every week either. Well, Josh, I like to stream tight ends. Yeah, you can stream tight ends all you want. That's fine. But Mark Andrews is like kind of like your built-in streaming tight end anyway. He's always going to have the most opportunity. He's going to have probably more opportunity than a Brenton Strange or anyone else you're going to throw in there to stream. So he just gives you that safety. Is that safety always like 20 points or 15? No, it's not. But is the floor like 8 points? Sure. Like it could be, especially in a year like this where we don't know what's going to happen with the Baltimore Ravens and what they're going to be with their scheme. We haven't seen yet. What is his ADP?
16. He is below guys like Dalton Kincaid, Dallas Goedert, Arande Gadsden, who just got another tight end added to their team, Isaiah Likely, Jake Ferguson, and Travis Kelce. But he's ahead of Juwan Johnson, Chig Okonkwo, Kenyon Sadiq, and Brenton Strange.
Do you see what I mean, though? Like, those guys are all pretty much interchangeable. So what you're doing is, if you're drafting Mark Andrews at ADP,
everybody from 7 to 16 is the same person. They're the same tight end.
But who has more baked-in opportunity? Mark Andrews, because he's only competing with Zay Flowers. Whereas those other guys you listed, Jake Ferguson has to deal with Pickens and CD Lamb and Javonte. And then you go over to Brenton Strange, which is below Mark Andrews, but he's got Brian Thomas Jr., the ghost of him, Jacoby Myers. People are high on this Malik Washington guy. I don't know why, but they are. Mark Andrews just has him. And who are these rookies you're high on that you wanted me to talk about? These Brazel? Exactly. My point. I don't know who these people are. These people that they drafted in Baltimore.
Oh, you're talking about Elijah Starrett from IU and Kobe Lane from USC.
Yeah, these bums. They're just going to be that, bums. So we're going to rely on Mark Andrews and Mr. Zay Flowers. That's the only thing I can say good about Mark. I can't believe you gave me these people. I'm really upset with you. I gave you really good fantasy assets, and you gave me bums.
You gave me Roma Dunze. I gave you the same exact player on a different team. The same player. They're the same.
Be honest with me. Be honest with me. Don't give me your Colts bullshit. Be honest with me. Would you be surprised if Roma Dunze was a top 12 wide receiver?
No.
Would you be surprised if Alex Pierce was? Be honest.
I don't know who Alex Pierce is, but I would not be surprised if Alex Pierce was also a top 12.
Yes, sir.
No, I think both of them could both be top 15. Top 12 is pushing both, but top 15 for sure.
I see in no world where Alec Pierce is ever a top 12 asset in fantasy football, ever. Okay. But I can see a day where Roma Dunze dominates the NFC. And I hope it's this year. I thought it was last year. I really did. I was so just context, I drafted Omarion Hampton, and I had Devontae Smith, and I took both those players and I packaged both for Roma Dunze, and I got made fun of. That's fine. I don't care what people think. Roma Dunze freaking balled out the first 5 weeks, and I'm like, suck D's, right? And I was on top of the world because Hampton just got hurt. Devontae Smith is Devontae Smith. And I was just living on cloud 9. And then like week 7 happened, and Roma Dunze just died. And now I just have egg on my face. But I do think that he's an elite athlete that's going to go ahead and anyway, I know I'm just bragging about how awesome I am at fantasy football. Make sure you join Super League. Defeat me in Super League. I'm so good at it. I'm so good at fantasy football. And now you have the opportunity to tell me to shut up and sit down. And you probably will, because last year I didn't do so well in Super League. But make sure you join. The Super League is going to be on our website. Justin, you have more information on that.
Yeah, You can go to Super League FF. I'm typing it and putting it in the chat.
Brian's got me laughing. It's funny.
Superleagueff.org. You can go and register for that. It's our annual fantasy best ball charity fantasy best ball league, where we're raising money for people in children in hospitals. So definitely reach out for that. You can also visit our site, fantasynowplus.com. We just added a whole bunch of new tools and gadgets and widgets that you can use if you're in sleeper leagues. Definitely should check those out because those are fun to use. But yeah, fantasynowplus.com.
That is right. And we'll be back next Wednesday, I hope, if Justin's not selling a house or fixing a water heater. I don't know what he does over there in Indiana, but he's definitely moving.
I do have an inspection on Wednesday, but it's in the morning, so I'll make the show Wednesday.
All right. So I just want to let you guys know that we delayed the show, not because of me this time, because of Justin. And don't worry, we'll be back for next week with a bunch of fun and nonsense, just like this week. So I appreciate everyone watching. Make sure you drop a like, hit the subscription button, share with a friend. If you like us, don't be ashamed of us. Share with us, share us with your friends. We want to be shared. We like to share, right, Justin?
Yeah, always.
Yeah,
that's why I just shared the link to the shirt in the chat. So.
We're all going to buy that shirt. So it's going to be a podcast with me, you, Brian, all wearing that shirt next week.
Do it.
Make sure you guys tune in.
Do it
for that. But that's it. My name's Josh. That's Justin on this side. I got it right. On the other show, if I point this way, it points this way. So you must have it inverted for some reason. But anyway.
I don't know.
All right. That's it. That's the show. Have a good time, everyone. Be safe this weekend.
Yes.
Be safe.
Keep all your fingers.
Don't drive. Uber.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.